Hi everybody! So, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, one of them had a fabulous offer of getting fish, where it was a box of 1 kilo of fish for just £5. What we realised when we got home was that the fish, a selection, was not gutted or cleaned or anything, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to show you how to clean a whole fish. Because what you definitely don't want to do is put fish away into your fridge when it's not been gutted, because that will make the fish taste bitter, go off much quicker, and basically be very unpleasant. So what I've got here is a selection. I think these are sardines, I'm not sure, but they're not really worth filleting, they're just worth gutting because they too are full. So I'll show you first. So this is called a round fish by the shape of it, you can see, and that's sort of the same as sea bass or sea bream or any of those sort of fish basically. So they have one bit of bone going through the middle, so we're going to fillet this completely from start to finish. What you want to remember is always use cold water when dealing with fish. So I've washed them all in cold water. I've washed my board and knife in cold water, and everything will get washed in cold water until the end. Once it's all clean with cold water, I'll then do hot water and soap. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of the entrails. So first you find the poo hole, and this is for any fish, they always have a poo hole at the end of the stomach. And you want to get your knife and go straight into the poo hole, and then forward, cut forward to, in a straight line to the head.
And nice and shallow, isn't it?
Yes, it
to
can
avoid
be.
cutting the entrails.
You try not to cut the entrails, but if you see, they're sort of on either side. So if you go right through the middle, you'll avoid them. Then that is all the inside. That's gooey, not very nice stuff. So I'm just going to move my sole out of the way. Cold water, give it a good rinse and pull it out. What you want to try and do, if you can, like here, is keep it all whole, because that's what's really stinky in a fish, is these insides if they get cut. So there, nice clean inside. What I then also do is get rid of the gills, because they're just...
So show us how you do that? Nice. I can't see your hands and slightly in the way.
So you can open the gills by hand, like that, and then just hook your finger around them and just pull them out. There, that's both of them pulled out in one go.
And that's a good way of telling the freshness of a fish, isn't it, as well?
You can tell the freshness by the gills. You don't want them to be slimy. So these are really fresh. You can see how fresh they are. There, they come apart really easily, and there's no slime there. The other thing you can tell is how well a fish holds its shape. So this one's not holding it great. So they're a bit floppy, so if they're really, really fresh, it would hold it straight. And the third way is to look into their eyes. Now these are a bit bloody, so it's a bit difficult to see, but here, for example, they should look glossy and fresh, like they've just come out off the water, and then they go slightly grey the older they get. So again, that's a really good sign for these fish that they're fresh. Although a bit floppy, I think that's just to do with the fact that they've been in the supermarket for the day, but really shiny eyes and really fresh gills. So we've cleaned the inside of this fish now. That's normally in the UK, this is how you'll get your fish from the fishmonger. It's just because I think it was special offer of just get all these fish, they don't know what to do with them. So the other thing you want to make sure is that there's no what's the little things called?
Scales?
Scales on your fish. I'm really lucky, these ones have been descaled. If you want to descale your fish, you get a knife, probably one a bit smaller than this, and go from tail to head in that motion, and that will take all the scales off. There might be some on the top here still, so you can see.
Oh yes, there's some came off.
This is a really messy job when there are scales, so I highly recommend it doing inside the sink or something like that, so they just go everywhere. You will find them for days later. So if you can, yes, do it inside the sink. Now, nice and clean, get my knife nice and clean. Then to fillet it, we want to go, so it's got all these lovely fins, like all fish. You go behind fin and just in front of the gill, behind the gill. So this is the gill, so I'm going in there and you just cut towards the head until you reach resistance, which will be its spine. And then once you've reached this point, I can't easily go any further, so I know I've hit the spine. I turn my knife around and you've got about 6 bones that stick out the side, so you want to get through them before you get to the spine only. So you'll hear a couple of bones crack and we'll take them out, and otherwise you just want to very carefully get, so I've got quite a bendy knife, so I'm just pushing it against the spine and pulling it along, which will hopefully leave the bigger bones behind and you with a nice fillet. There, so now if I turn this around, you'll see there's little bones there, so the other bits I've taken off here, which I'll show you how to get rid of, and otherwise you're right on against the bones of the fish. This is a very unlucky fish to be doing this with because they have tiny little bones. Most slightly bigger round fish have bigger bones, so it's a little bit easier to get them. But if you look, you can see here all the little bones are sticking out, so in one swoop you want to catch them and in just as few motions as possible take them out. There, so that's all these little annoying bones are gone, and then all I've got left are these few bones at the top to get rid of, and I use a pair of tweezers for that. And you can feel them if you go from the top to the bottom with your finger, you can feel all the bones. So I can feel ones there, and then you just pull them out as if you're plucking your eyebrows. There, you can see what sort of size these ones are. And again, the bigger the fish, the easier this is to do. And then any ones I've missed while cutting, I can get them now. So there's a few little ones that I've cut through. But that's feeling very smooth. And I just have a little kitchen towel to put them all onto, because otherwise, again, like the scales, they can go everywhere. So that's now deboned. You have yourself a nice fish fillet. Give it one more rinse, get rid of anything. And then put it on some kitchen towel or some towel, because you want it to be nice and dry. So then that is now ready to be frozen. Nice little fillet of fish. And that's how you do it. I'll show you the other side, because that can be a little bit mean sometimes because of the fish. So we've done the one side, we then turn it over. And we do the same thing again, but now there's less resistance, so it just takes a little bit more. We've now got the top of the fish to us, whereas before it was the other way around, because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you do it the other way around. Again, just cutting behind this fin and sort of the same angle of the gill as far as I can until I get the bone. Turn the knife around. Oh, the head shouldn't come off normally. And then again, really, really fine bones here, but I'll do my best. I'm just sort of scraping it along the. So there we have most of it. Just get this last bone. So there you have yourself. There's a bit of meat left on there because these bones are so small that it's quite difficult. But the main thing is there's not a lot of meat left on this. So this you can either make a stock out of or just put it in the compost. Same with the heads, although generally the heads don't make great stock, so I wouldn't put them into a stock either. And then again, just sort of double check that you've got all the sideways bones. I'm going to get rid of the bits of skin. Don't need a tail. Looking really nice, and do the same thing again on this side, just getting rid of a few bigger bones that you will have to cut through, the sort of neck bones I suppose they are, and they'll be there on every fish. So the first, officially I think it's 6 or 8 bones. There will always be at least 6 or 8 bones to get rid of every time you do this. And here we have, with as little waste as possible, 2 really nice fillets ready. And I'm going to smoke these because I think they're just large sardines, which really make very nice for smoking, or possibly even sort of curing them. Maybe a bit like, you know, Mom really likes her herons in
herring
in oh, it's like a yogurty mayonnaise-y thing. I think these would be great for that, or curing them in like a vinegar or something like that. I think would be really, really nice. Sort of need a bit of a dressing because they're not the most fancy fish, but still very excited with the good deal I got with them. And there you have. Oh no, I missed a couple. Need to mess up that bit. Stop while I'm ahead. There we go, give it a bit of a rinse. And that's, can't you just imagine that rolled up like that with some yummy sort of mayonnaise-y and mayonnaise and dill or something like that, and lime and yum. So I think that's what we're going to do with it rather than fry it. And that goes in there and will be frozen for as and when we're ready for it. You can see here I've done a mackerel already. Really nice big fish that we got. I love what it looks like. They look very pretty, but again I think it'll be better for smoking. Got a lovely smoker to put on the barbecue. Have some more of the same of what we just did. And then we have some flatfish. We have, these are known as flatfish. So I believe this is a lemon sole. And this is a Dover sole. And I'll try one of them first before I show you how to do them, because they use a slightly different technique. Thank you for watching.